Here we got a coolant leak from the thermostat housing just down here. So we're going to replace the thermostat housing. It's plastic. Over time they just deform and the gasket leaks. And while we're at it, we're going to replace this coolant side pipe. You can see how rusty it is. It just bubbles away. The paint strips, the exhaust is right underneath it, so the heat evaporates any water that gets on there or anything else in terms of moisture, and then it just rusts through the eats away on the paint, and then it just starts rusting, and eventually that rust is going to pop and then you're going to have a coolant leak. So while the cooling system's open for the thermostat, we might as well do this guy here. Should be straightforward. Put a couple of drip trays underneath the vehicle, make sure it's somewhat cold to work on, otherwise you're going to get burnt. No matter how careful you are, it's always going to be messy. So just try to catch as much coolant as you can. And you can see it's under pressure still. It's quite warm. And yes, I know that's green coolant. Preferably we use Volkswagen stuff, but we get a lot of vans with green coolant. As long as you flush it every 4 years, should be good to go. Sharp side cutters is a key to cutting through these clamps. I'm going to try to save this hose. Should be 6mm. Not a good sign when it's this difficult to get out. for more room, take the splash guard off. See how rusty that pipe is. It's bulging. It's just a matter of time before it breaks. Alright, this pipe should still be full of coolant, so be careful. Actually, should take this guy out first. On this side, you got to work that pipe out underneath this one. You just tilt it and work it over this pipe. Almost. It's a matter of rotating it. And then we got the big return hose. You disconnect the sensors already. The blue one, the black one. A couple more hoses. That return hose will probably have some coolant in it. Almost got you there. What I don't like is when people put clamps in such stupid positions that makes the job harder the next time. All you have to do is when you let go of a clamp, you put it in a way, you leave it in a way so that it's easy to get at. So I would leave it like this. See how easy I can get the clamps on it? There's a bleeder hose. one more over here. Same thing. It's the bypass hose that runs across to the tower. So it's pretty much disconnected now. Hardest part now is getting the head bolts out, with the mounting bolts. Going straight for the extractor socket, because most likely the 6mm Allen's going to strip. The bottom one's loose. Socket bites the outside of the head. You can see the swirl in here. It just bites into it as you loosen it. Just remembered I forgot one hose clamp at the top. Gotta let it down again. That's the last clamp that I forgot. Again, same thing. Somebody not putting the clamps in a not leaving the clamps in such a way where they're easy to get at. If you were just to leave the clamp like that, it would be a lot easier to get it in the future. This is one of those few jobs where you do have to work from underneath as well, so be careful. Cover your eyes when you open up the cooling system. Make sure that it's cold, otherwise you're going to burn your hands. You can see how oval it is here. It just deforms with age and eventually starts to leak. Installation is in reverse of removal. Make sure you clean all the surfaces. New O-ring here at the water pump. And bleed the system. I always leave the bleeder valve open rather than closing it after bleeding. That way, if there's any air that's trapped, it always comes up into the bleed rail here and works its way back to the bottle. Thanks for watching.